Hey guys, Pieguyrulz here. Merry Nickmas. Holly Jolly Jimmy is the Jimmy Neutron Christmas special. And the episode is actually kinda bad. Yeah, I really like Jimmy Neutron, and I remember liking this episode as a kid, but there's just one major logical inconsistency in this episode that just absolutely ruins it for me. Let me tell you the plot and see if you can figure it out. So Jimmy doesn't believe in Santa Claus because scientifically he makes no sense. How can someone that fat fit down a chimney? How can someone survive so long in the Arctic? His friends, and everyone else for that matter, believes Santa Claus exists. So Jimmy has to set out to prove them wrong. They take a trip to the North Pole, while still wearing their t-shirts. When they get up there, they find that Santa's factory is indeed real, although Jimmy believes it's just some sort of weird marketing thing. Jimmy won't believe that Santa exists until he actually sees Santa Claus, but before he can do that, he accidentally scrambles Santa's atoms from afar. So the elves all freak out because no Santa equals no one to deliver all the presents. Cindy and Libby, who were tagging along in Jimmy's hypercube, record the entire thing and get sent back to Retroville by Jimmy in a very scientifically improbable scene, where they decide to expose Jimmy as the one who ruined Christmas. With Christmas ruined, Jimmy's dad decides to make up a new holiday revolving around pie. You know, I can get behind that subplot. But all hope is not lost as Jimmy decides, hey, why doesn't he just deliver the presents to everyone? Because, in Jimmy's words, if a kid like him can deliver all the presents with science, there's no way that Santa can deliver all the presents, and therefore he doesn't exist. So the boys set out to deliver all the presents. So my major gripe, in case you couldn't tell, with this episode is that everything that Jimmy says makes absolutely no sense. He talks about all these scientifically improbable things while breaking science itself. Yeah, he lives in a world where he can do scientific things that don't make any sense in our world, but even still, why doesn't he just assume that Santa's a scientist that can do all this stuff with science? If Jimmy can do it with science, how does that not prove Santa exists? If anything, it proves that Santa probably does exist. I know it sounds like a minor complaint, but that's pretty much the entire plot, so none of it makes any sense to me, and I can't get over that. I don't know, maybe Jimmy's just a jerk who, after not getting the present he wanted, decided to go to the North Pole, attack Santa, and take over his job, just to prove that he can do it. That makes more sense than what's presented in this episode. So beyond that major plot failure, there is a nice catchy song, and of course it embodies a lot of the things you'd expect from a Christmas special. While it's not a cliche I can track down any one specific story starting this, but the whole someone has to take over for Santa Claus thing is just something that's been going on forever. So in addition to this plot making no sense, the other part of the plot is just something we've seen a million times before. Heck, the recent live-action Fairly Odd Christmas did it. So yeah, I dislike this episode. I do not recommend this episode in any way, shape, or form. The song's a little bit catchy, and I do approve of Pie, but no. Everything else in this episode just fails, both as a Jimmy Neutron episode and as a Christmas special. I can see what they were trying to go for, but with Jimmy using all sorts of magical science, he just comes off as a big fat hypocrite. So, yeah, that was kind of a bummer. Pieguyrulz, out.